Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'll let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to give some rapid shout outs to the early birds, starting with dun, 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 Big Boss, Baltimore, what it do? Utica, New York, Larry Goodman. What's up, Christian? Merry Christmas. Judith Grace, Mexico. What up, Mexico? I am T. Grant. What's up, Hattiesburg, Mississippi? High Point, North Carolina. What's up, Bernard? Brett Watson, Cleveland, Ohio. Judith Anderson. What up? What it do? I see Opal. We got Africa in the house, the continent, the motherland. You did? Ruth Adams, Port Arthur. What's up, Texas? Boss Hog. Marsha, who is that? Marsha N. Turner. Marcus changed. Marcus changed for the better. Fred Woodard. What up, Boston? Amani, Ohio, TJ Dallas. What is TJ Dallas? Okay, I guess TJ is your name. Alphonse William. Okay, I'm going in, fam. I see Vegas. I see Dallas again. Hartford, Connecticut in the house. What's up, Martha Gamble? Going in, fam. Woodbridge, Virginia. Going in. Boy, I got a packed show for y'all today, fam. We got an armed jewelry heist. I'm talking about a couple of dozen of them ran up in a jewelry store with hammers, you know, the gun hammers and real hammers, running up in a jewelry store and made off with a bunch of jewelry, $1 million worth at least. We got a drunk lawyer who don't know how to shut her mouth, and she's just being obnoxious and nasty and entitled as they can be at times, right? We got a judge who helped a convict evade ICE. Y'all hear what I'm saying, fam? Is America a wild place or not? Is it even a real place? We got rats at Walmart. Rats in the produce at Walmart. Damn, man. Golly, man. With all that money, you would think Walmart would have some level of quality control. No such thing. You ever heard of a neo-Nazi Democrat? They kind of like hide in the shadows, but this one somehow got out. Yeah, neo-Nazi Democrat who's actually running for Senate. Yeah, the boy wants to be a senator. He wants to represent the great state of Maine. Then we got a shoplifter at Walmart who pulled out a gun on the police. You ever seen a shoplifter put out a gun? I mean, they had him in the room and everything. And he pulled out a gun and was trying to blast him. And he was like, I'm going to kill everybody in here. Ah! America, man. America. It's a wild place. But you know why it's so wild? Because we have elected leadership like Donald Trump, your president, to run the country. Check out Donald Trump trying to persuade Georgia House Speaker David Ralston to overturn the election in his favor. He recognizes that it's fraud. Another leak on Donald Trump. Man.
You do it to uncover fraud. You could say for transparency and to uncover fraud, possible fraud. So who's going to stop you for that? You know, it's like
a federal judge, possibly.
You think?
Yeah, you know, Mr. President.
Yeah, you know, Mr. President, I really want to do this for you, man. You know, I really want to look out for you, baby. I want to do this for you, baby. But it's just that little jail thing I'm concerned about. I ain't really concerned about ethics. I'm not concerned about ethics. I'm worried about this little jail thing, man, because if I go to jail, man, I ain't gonna be able to do jail, man, because I put people in jail. You know, I help shape law and stuff like that put people in jail. And I can't go myself. I can't do that type of time, man. They gonna take the booty. So I ain't gonna be able to do that, man. And my booty 70 years old. I'm 85-year-old booty. I ain't gonna make it. Trump, you can do whatever you want to do. Who's gonna stop it? Trump got that mentality, y'all. Y'all hear it on full display. Who's gonna stop you? That's got to be Trump's mantra every single time he breaks the law. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Well, we know the Republicans ain't gonna stop me because they cowards. They're scared to death of me. Imagine, the Republicans are scared to death of Donald Trump. It ain't that they're scared of him because he's some type of physical threat. They're afraid of him because they don't want to lose any money. He's a financial threat to them. They don't want to lose their seats. If they go up against him, they're going to come out on the other end like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has to resign from Congress because MAGA is a cult. They don't follow right. They're not concerned about right and wrong. They're just concerned about following their leader, Donald Trump. Whatever Trump says, they're programmed to believe and to carry out. They really are a cult. So it doesn't matter. Right doesn't matter to them. Wrong doesn't matter to them. It's whatever Trump says, because they can be totally against something. But the moment Trump says he's for it, all of a sudden, they're for it. They're magically for it, which is why I have zero respect for them, because they don't even control their own brains. They don't even have their own opinions. They act like they do until Trump says something different, and then they jump on board. I remember a time like that in New York when we was first coming up in the rap game. New York was very cliquish and cult-like in terms of hip-hop. Like, look, man, if it ain't New York, we not rocking it. If it's not New York, we're not playing it. Even on an individual level, New Yorkers would listen to other music outside of New York, but they wouldn't say it out loud in a crowd. I got an example here. Like, this is a real life lived experience. I'm in Manhattan. I'm walking with these dudes from the record label. From what label was that? Universal. I think it was Warner. Walking with some dude from Warner. The dude is telling me how much he loved the music and everything, how much he loved the Ghetto Boys, Mind Playing Tricks. Man, I love that song, man. Woo, woo, woo. This is early 90s. He loved the song. He's like, man, I love that song, man. And he started talking about some of the other music that he liked from the South. And then we stepped into a group of New Yorkers. And they started discussing the music overall. And there was some resistance there to the music from the South. And do you know this dude got quiet and didn't say anything? He wouldn't say anything. He just got quiet because he didn't want to be ostracized. I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn, over some music? You can't even have your own opinion about music? Yeah. Like he wouldn't say anything. He was so talkative at first. He was very talkative, and knowledgeable of the music in the South. But when his fellow New Yorkers came around who wasn't really rocking with the South like that, he just kind of got in line and rolled with the punches. What Kwame Brown say, go along to get along. He just joined the go along, get along gang. Yeah. Couldn't be me. I got one life to live. I'm gonna live it like a man. Yeah. I'm gonna live it like a man. When I die, they're gonna say that's a man right there. That's a man in that urn. Not casket, urn. That's a man right there. Yeah. So anyway, fam, Trump has been caught multiple times with his hand in the cookie jar. Yet he still managed to become president. See, when all of this stuff was going on, both sides knew that Trump was like this. They knew exactly who he was. They had an opportunity to bury him politically. They had an opportunity to bury him. And they gave him life and allowed him to get on the campaign trail and run for office again. They convicted him 34 times, but he's still allowed to run. The Republican Party at that point should have said, we cannot have a 34-time felon leading our party. One might say, well, if you got a felony at all, you probably shouldn't become president of the United States. I disagree. I disagree with that. I think that there's a lot of people who got felonies who have turned their lives around. So I think that those type of situations have to be, it have to be considered on a case-by-case basis, just as if a job for, working at AT&T would be, like, okay, this happened, you did this, okay, well, when, what kind of crime was it? How long ago was it? What are you doing now? What's your life like now? I think that, but 34 times, that's different. 34 times. The party should have said, the party should have gotten together and said, I don't care how powerful this dude is. We just cannot have that. We cannot have that type of representation in our party, because how are we going to justify trying to tell other people to have integrity and live up to a certain moral code when we have a 34-time convicted felon as our leader? How are we going to get people to believe in us? How are we going to get people to trust anything we say? And they're realizing now how exactly hard that is. They're really realizing how hard that is to do. They thought in the beginning that they would be able to just bulldoze their way through that argument. But now they realize that, man, these people ain't just accepting anything we say anymore. They still kind of on the fence with Trump and stuff like that, but every time something go down in government now, it's all questioned. That was a time when if it was reported by any of the major networks that we were at risk of a foreign nation harming Americans, we would take the government's word for it. Well, since this Venezuela thing, and really before that, but it's been on full display. The mistrust has been on full display in the aftermath of this Venezuela attacks, the attacks on the boats, the so-called drug boats in Venezuela or in the international waters that are coming from Venezuela. People are going like, okay, first he says this is about fentanyl and drugs. Now Trump slips up the other day and says, yeah, we want our land back from them and our oil, it's ours and we want it back. And people going like, oh, okay, so that's what that was about. And we thought, we knew that what it was about anyway, because we know this government cares nothing about protecting people from drugs. We know that. Hell, we got the biggest damn pharmacy network in the world. It's more Americans on prescription drugs and illicit street drugs than there are any other people in the entire world. Americans love drugs. And Americans are going to use drugs. And he knows this. And he know it ain't nothing he can do to put a dent in drug use or the distribution of drugs, because there are too many agents on the take. There are too many police officers selling drugs, letting the drugs through. There are too many people getting paid to look the other way. So they're not going to stop illicit street drugs. That's not going to happen. So we already knew when they were blowing up the boats that it wasn't about drugs. We knew it wasn't about fentanyl. Because if they were really serious about stopping those drugs from coming over, you would stop them at the border. You ain't got to go out into the international waters targeting people. You could stop them at the border if they were really serious. But they're not. And they've never been serious about stopping drugs. Hell, how are you going to be serious about stopping drug use and distribution of drugs when you're actually distributing the drugs yourself? Y'all remember that little thing that happened in South Central Los Angeles, back in the 80s with the CIA and the drugs and the guns? Y'all remember that thing? You know what I'm saying? That little thing like that, that contributed to decimating neighborhoods all across America. They do not care. That's game. That's game. It's all game. I tell you what ain't a game, fam. These youngsters out here.
Armed takeover in progress. More than 20 suspects storming a jewelry store east of San Francisco. Some carrying guns, others with hammers, crowbars and pickaxes. They smashed their way into display cabinets, helping themselves to more than $1 million worth of goods.
Definitely a well-orchestrated event.
Their exit, not as smooth. When the door shut behind them, it automatically locked them inside. Unable to break down the door, one of the bandits shoots his way out.
It was a very dangerous situation. They did fire multiple rounds through the door, which caused the door to shatter, and they were able to then push the glass out and exit.
Police drone footage capturing the thieves making their daring escape, running to 6 getaway cars waiting near the shopping centre's entrance.
The biggest concern was not seeing just 1 or 2 or 3 people, but like 20 people being involved in something like this. Something really tragic could have happened.
So far, 7 members of the gang have been arrested. The youngest, 17 years old. More than a dozen are still on the run.
This is not their first time doing something like this.
In the United States, Rob Scott, 7 News.
Youngsters, let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all care about freedom? Like, what is it about slavery that turns you on? Like, what is it about being incarcerated that turns y'all on? Like, what is it about lying up in a morgue as a teenager or a 20-something-year-old person who ain't even seen their 30th birthday? What is it about lying up in a morgue with a wire cut in your chest that excites y'all? What is it about having your day with a t-shirt, with your face on a t-shirt? What is it about it that excites you? What is it about the balloon releases that excites you? It's got to be something. I mean, what are you getting out of this? What are you looking forward to? What is your end goal? What is your end goal? As soon as I see a group of bandits, I already know everybody going to jail. So that's number one. First and foremost, there are too many legal ways to get money in the United States of America. Yes, you have other people out there committing crimes every single day and they get away with it, but most of y'all ain't got the complexion for the protection, okay? That's a whole different level of gangsterism. Y'all not really gangsters, because if you were really a gangster, you wouldn't even go to jail. You know, you could make a phone call. If you got in a jam, you can make a phone call and make it go away. Y'all don't have that type of power. So what is it about putting that gun in your hand and running up in places, sticking the gun in people's faces and robbing and stuff like that, and ending up getting killed or going to jail? What is it? Because you're not going to be a martyr. All right, so you can scratch that off the list. You're not going to be a martyr. Your family ain't finna get paid, so it ain't like you're making some type of sacrifice for the team where if you get killed or you go to jail, the family gonna get paid and that's gonna bring you up out of poverty. You're not gonna get your name on a street or a school building or anything like that. You're not gonna get anything like that out of it. Like, what do you get out of it? This leads me to believe that many of you just really don't care about yourself. And this is why you behave in such reckless conduct. You don't really care about your body. You know, you don't really care about your life. So miss me with this person don't care and nobody cares about me and I got a heartbreak story. You know, everybody got a sob story, man. Damn near everybody on this planet has faced some type of abuse in their lifetime. Ain't nobody had it perfect. Even the people that you look at and you think are perfect, you don't know their story. There's all types of judges and lawyers and entrepreneurs and athletes and rappers and singers and actors and archaeologists and scientists who have went through all kinds of trauma. They just don't brag about it. They just don't allow it to consume them and stop them from moving forward. See, I learned a long time ago. I was a youngster. When I first went to jail, I was 10 years old. Yeah, I was 10 years old. I learned a long time ago that the judge don't give a damn about your sob story. They don't care that you being raised by a single mother. The judge don't care nothing about that. First and foremost, most of these judges are in place to lock you up anyway. Most of these judges are judges because they want to be part of the system that controls you. They're not judges. They're not in position to show you mercy. They're in position to not show you mercy. How else do you explain when a judge would give a person 90 years for 3 strikes and their third strike is they stole a sneaker out the store? You gave a man 90 years for stealing a sneaker bar out of the store. You got to be heartless. You got to be the devil to do something like that. I got it. 3 strikes, yeah, man, I got it. But people without moral flexibility scare the hell out of me. You got to make some exceptions, man. There's got to be some exceptions. That's why I say you got to take these cases, cases one at a time. You got to look at them individually. A lot of y'all youngsters, man, let me tell you something, fam. As soon as I saw that video, I was like, oh, their ass is going to jail. You don't get to commit brazen acts of violence or crimes in America and ride off into the sunset. Your ass going to jail. So now that you have that knowledge, because maybe nobody ever told you that, but you can't commit brazen acts of violence in the United States and not go to jail. You're going to jail. You see, because here's the thinking of the police. We can commit brazen acts of violence because we've signed an oath. We signed an oath. We the real gangsters. We killers. If we kill, like the average person, if they wake up and kill somebody, they're going to have hell. They're going to catch hell. Even if they're in the right, they're going to catch hell. They may be proven to be in the wrong. But automatically, the police officer is given the benefit of doubt and qualified immunity. They put him on a whole different level. So they got so much wiggle room to kill. They can just kill, man. That's why they do it. This is the reason why they kill so often. So what I'm trying to say is, kids, the police don't want any competition. They want to be the only ones to be able to commit brazen acts of violence and murder. They want to be the only ones to do that. They want to be the only ones to be able to kill right there, broad daylight. Everybody saw it. Everybody filmed it. Now you know what it is. Acts of terrorism. See, they want to be the only terrorists. They don't want any competition. So when they see you acting like that, in their mind, hell, they got to get you off the streets before you turn that gun on them. So that's why they be so serious about stopping that, also because they know the average American is wired to believe that the police is there to protect them. So they have to at least give the illusion of safety. They got to make people believe that the police is trying to really keep them safe. So when somebody commit a brazen act of violence and it's all over television and everybody saw it, they get to say, we went in and got the bad guy. And that, for a moment, makes the people feel, the ones who don't know any better, a little safer. They feel safer. And they want to say, good job, officer. Good job. Good job, officer. Good job. And then they get a pass on the next 100 incidents where they actually insert themselves into people's lives and cause trauma and drama, and where they murder people unjustly. So they get a pass for stuff like that because the people are thinking, the ones who don't know any better, that, yeah, man, I remember when they came, we got to keep the cops and we got to support them because, they went and got those guys who broke into the jewelry store, and they captured them. They captured that guy who killed 2 people or 5 people. They captured him. So, we got to support the police. So we got to give them a pass for all of the stuff that they do wrong, because when they get it right, every now and then they get it right. So we got to salute that and be thankful for that. When they get it right, we got to be thankful for that. So all the other times they get it wrong, they get a pass because they got it right on this time or that time. It's kind of like when you're dealing with a coconut, right? when you're listening to a coconut talk, you know, black on the outside, white on the inside. When you listen to the coconut talk, the coconut always makes a couple of good, really, really good points, right? That you can agree with. This is how they get you on their team. They say some things that you agree with. And because they said some things you agree with, all of the other inexcusable things that they see get a pass. I mean, all of the inexcusable things that they say get a pass. You see what I'm saying? It's got to be a word for that. I'm going to figure it out. But anyway, fam, I learned a long, long time ago, if I am going to do some dirt, you will never see me rocking with 20-something dudes, 5 dudes, 4, 5, 3. I'm not doing that, man. The more people that, for every person that you that's tags along, that's one more chance for you to get caught up. You can't possibly monitor that many people. All of those dudes, and I don't know if they were all dudes, it probably was at least a couple of girls in there, but all of them have significant others or just people that they messing around with. They gonna talk. They got to talk because some of them ain't got nothing else to talk about. Some of them ain't got nothing else going on. So they got to say something. They got to talk. They got to tell people something to make themselves feel big. You know, I can guarantee all them dudes that was in that video, every last one of them was probably talkers. It's got to be something wrong with you to go inside of a jewelry store with a couple of dozen people with guns robbing a jewelry store. Listen, man, you might need to get your head checked if you're going in there by yourself. But with 24 people, 23, 24, 25 people, something's got to be wrong with you because you ain't getting away, especially with all these damn cameras everywhere. Cameras are everywhere. Anytime the police want to solve a crime, they could solve the crime if they really want to solve the crime. Because all they got to do is pull the camera footage. If there ain't no camera footage in this block, they going to keep on pulling till a camera pick your movement up. So they're going to start, it's like a net. They're going to start right there at the scene of the crime. If they can't identify you there from the video and witnesses or whatever from there, they're going to just spread the net out. And they're going to check those cameras. Then they're going to, can't find you? Yeah, the net going to come out a little bit more. Check those cameras. Check those cameras. And they're so cold, sometimes they can check the cameras all the way to your original point. They can check it all the way to where you first started. They can check them damn cameras all the way to your house when you first come out of your house. Oh, he lives right here. Okay, that looks like... Being a lawman and investigator is so easy these days. It is so easy to be an investigator today. Like investigators back in the day had to do some real work. They had to beat the pack. You know what I'm saying? They had to walk and ring doorbells, knock on the doors, and talk to every person and all this stuff. Now they just get on the computer. Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh, Jeffrey Junebug Washington. There he is. Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh, looks like, okay, there he is right there. He just left out of the store. Okay. Hey, we got him. We got him. Hey, send a unit over to such and such. Boom. It's that easy, man. You ever notice how fast the police solve mysteries when a cop is killed? You ever notice how fast they solve the mystery? And they solve it even faster. I mean, they don't solve no crimes faster than they solve crimes when you kill police officers. But next in line is brazen acts of violence. brazen acts of violence and crimes, they gonna get you like, they gonna get you. Especially violence, they gonna get you like this. Because they gotta make the people believe they're safe. So they can justify that raise they ask for every damn year. You know, they want some new money every year. They want some new money. They want some new cars, and they want some new guns and military equipment. Yeah. So they got to justify that. Hey, look what we did. They do one or two things cool for that year and then wreak havoc on the public for the rest of the year. And that's enough to get that raise. Yeah, that's right. See, I know y'all. I know you. Shout out to my real cop homeboys, though. I got some cool ass homeboys that are cops. Real cool, solid dudes. But hey, the rest of y'all. Yeah. All right, fam. We got a drunk Karen. I don't know where the uncivilized might come from or hails from. All I know is that this is not the type of mentality to have if you purport to be a human being.
Take this and do not come back. Leave when you go. And go leave. Don't forget that. And don't reach on the way out. Are you deaf?
Are you deaf? I mean, I swear to God, I'm so sorry you can't. I'm so sorry. The blonde hair and blue eyes can't. Oh, how many more white girls need to be on the bus?
Okay, that's cool.
Take my sweet ass. That's okay. I'm a lawyer.
Okay. Yeah, I got a video of it.
All right, fam. Let me tell you what I think. I think it is time to have squads at establishments, especially public establishments like restaurants and bars. It should be financed by the club patrons. You know how a lot of these places have surcharges and service fees and all that kind of stuff. I think that we don't get to use, like, they want us to pay these service fees and surcharges and we don't get anything out of it. They basically want us to help them pay their employees and all of this. I think if we paid like a service fee to the bars, hear me out, to the bars, to the restaurants, a service fee that went to some goons that worked in the restaurant, that worked at the bar. The goons don't do nothing but wait. They wait and activate. They wait, they activate. The goon squad, all they do is handle uncivilized, unruly patrons and people. That's all they do. And it could also be extended. We got to figure this Karen thing out outside of that, just on the streets, telling people, do they live here and all that kind of stuff. The Karens and the Kens, we got to figure that something else out for them. But this is something I think everybody can easily get on board with. A goon squad who get paid from the surcharges from the service fees that we pay, instead of those service fees going to employees, it go, the employees who cook and clean and serve. No, just for the goon squad members. Every restaurant should have at least 3 goons. That way, you can handle it, just in case you get somebody that's really, really tough, get a really tough one. At least 3 goons, every restaurant. The bigger the restaurant is, you can have more goons. But all the goons do is wait, anticipate, activate. One of these uncivilized must get out of line. And just like that, they activate. They go handle it, and case closed. Now, I ain't talking about nicely handling it. I'm talking about ding, ding, fries, and shake. They got to feel it. They got to feel it. Because some of them, they want to still argue, and they be swinging on you and all that. No, you got to neutralize them. I say neutralize them. Let that fund go towards neutralizing them. Yeah, I'm telling you, fam. I think that's something everybody could be on board with, because now what you have is people feeling more comfortable when they go eat. When they go to a bar. And I say also extend it to theaters. No more sitting in the theater having to listen to some big mouth, uncouth, no class ass person talking during the movie. Yeah, getting all loud, and even some of them be cursing and stuff. So we're going to stop all that. So we'll pay a service fee. And we have in every movie theater the goon squad. They sitting there and they watching just like everybody else. But all they doing is watching, waiting. They're waiting, anticipating, and activating. Soon as you start getting loud and woo, 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 and cussing and stuff, you get one warning immediately. Maybe the warning come on over the speaker or something. Such and such. This is a reminder, no cussing, keep your volume down, da-da-da, bam, real quick. It come on real quick, in and out, boom. And if you don't adhere to those instructions, the next time you do it, ding, ding, fries, and shake. Yeah, ding, ding, fries, and shake. You get dragged all the way out of the theater, kicked out, literally kicked in your ass. Get out of here, you uncivilized mutt. Yeah. We're going to need some stuff like that. And then I would say also, let's extend it to Congress. Today, a lot of our congressmen and women, they have no class. I mean, many of them didn't have class before, but they were able to at least conceal the fact that they had no class. They were able to follow a certain code of conduct. But now, since Trump, all of that's over. It's like they're in a race for stupidity. They're in a race to see who sounds the most ignorant. I think, what was that woman? What's that woman? I think she was his speaker, his press secretary or something, who told a mama joke. Somebody asked her a question and she said, "Your mama?" You understand that? See, that's got to stop. So goon squads everywhere. Ding, ding, fries, and shake. Do some, because we got to figure out a way to bring some civility back to this country. Because we doomed. Like, we cannot stay on this trajectory that we're on. We're doomed. We're not going to make it. We're not going to get through it. I can promise you that. The moral decline is rapid. It's rapid. Something has to give if we want to save this country. If we want to save this country, something has to give. Same thing with the police officers. You pull out a gun, try to shoot somebody, and you know, even if you're a police officer and it's a situation and you're not practicing de-escalation, if you look like you're trying to escalate something, all of a sudden the goon squad show up. Just like that, goon squad pop up. Yeah, because the goon squad get the call just like everybody else. Goon squad pop up and you escalate. Hey, get 111. Hey, calm down. You don't talk to no citizen like that. I'll talk to ding, 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 fries and shake. Yeah. That'll restore some civility around here, fam. The reason why civility is on the decline is because there ain't any consequences for a lot of these people's actions. There's little to no consequences for their actions. And y'all know how that is, fam. If you do something bad and there is no repercussions for that bad behavior, you have no incentive to change. What is the incentive to change? There really isn't any incentive to change your behavior. If you can go around and hurl racist insults and you still get to live peacefully in the neighborhood and you good, nobody's riding on you, nobody's making life uncomfortable for you, your kids can still go to school and not have to worry about it. Nah, man, everybody need to get it. Your kids too. You need, when you act uncivilized, everybody in your family need to feel it. Everybody in your family need to feel it. Yeah. So that's the only way to get back, because it's like we know what it takes to get back, but it's just not happening fast enough. It's just not happening. And we're losing too many people. We're losing too many. So I say goon squads. Let's bring back goon squads. And all the goon squad do is regulate. They don't do nothing else. They don't kick it. They go to the bar. They don't dance. They don't dance. They don't drink. They don't fraternize. All the goon squad do is ding, ding, fries, and shake. Family, this one right here, this one caught me off guard. Now, you know, a lot of judges have latitude. Well, not a lot, but judges have a lot of latitude in terms of giving sentences out, levying punishment against people, even just the way that they conduct their courtroom and how, you know, who they allow into the courtroom and things of that nature, and how a person should behave. Well, we got a judge who had a defendant in her courtroom. This is a guy who had who already had a conviction. Well, ICE was looking for him, and they came to the courtroom to find him. The judge helped him slip through the back door. Check it out, fam.
Meets his attorney in the hallway and walks towards Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan's courtroom. Along the way, he passes plainclothes federal agents who are sitting on a bench. They are there to detain him. After Flores Ruiz walks by, the agents turn to each other and appear to confirm his identity amongst themselves. But a few moments later, Judge Dugan and another judge approach the agents sitting on the bench. A criminal complaint against Dugan later said she was alerted to their presence by a court official. That complaint says during this interaction, Dugan and the agents disagreed over the type of warrant they had to arrest Flores Ruiz. According to the complaint, Dugan ordered the agents to go to the chief judge's office. Video shows her pointing them through a double door. She then turns back to speak with other agents further down the hall and orders them through the doors as well. Shortly after that, with the agents gone from the hallway, Eduardo Flores Ruiz and his attorney exit into the hallway through a different door. As they walk down the hall toward the elevators, they pass another plainclothes federal agent. Neither they nor Judge Dugan seem to have noticed at the time. That agent motions to another to follow Flores Ruiz. Security video shows Flores Ruiz exiting through a basement exit. Upstairs on the 6th floor, the other agents have left the chief judge's office and worked their way downstairs. Flores-Ruiz left the building onto 9th Street. Videos of the street shows the agents catching up to him. Flores-Ruiz runs across 10th Street while trying to get away, but the agents catch him and arrest him.
Shout out to its own site. I got this video off its own site's Instagram. That's a good blog site. So, fam, did y'all see that? Like the judge is like, hey, y'all go through that way. Y'all go that way. Go that way. All right, come on. Here. The judge is about that life, man. The judge is about that life. So in order for that judge to do that, you know that judge probably has some connections, have some family members that are of that same ethnicity and same hue as old buddy she tried to help slip and get away, right? Hey, but she didn't try to help. She did help him. I mean, he slipped out the door, but he didn't get away because they caught up with him. How many judges out there would be willing to risk their freedom doing something like that? They put the judge on blast and arrest the judge for helping this guy elude the authorities. And the ICE was really, I guess, compliant, you know? Because I've seen video where ICE just jump out and they like police, you know, we got that bag, we got that gun, nigga. We ain't gotta worry about the law. We can break the law. We can hit anybody in the mouth we want to. We can kick them, we can body slam them, we can do whatever they want to do to them. I've seen those type of ICE agents. But those ICE agents, they were real smooth with it. They were like almost like FBI, like FBI branch of the ICE. Like, yeah, it's over here. We get him. I'm on my way. Yeah, they were covert, you know. So Buddy ends up getting caught up in a jam. He gets caught up in a jam, and the judge helps him escape justice. And this is why I tell y'all, fam, these judges, the judges got too much latitude. The judges got too much latitude. Anytime you can have a person sitting in your courtroom and you can determine what evidence gets allowed and what evidence is not allowed. See, just off the rip, you can determine which way a case goes by just deciding what evidence you are going to allow and which evidence you are going to reject. You know, because let's say someone is a defendant and they got X amount of evidence that can exonerate them. If you take away the one or two key elements of evidence that can exonerate them, it doesn't matter how often you allow a motion thereafter. It doesn't matter how many times you tell the lawyer, this lawyer, that lawyer, sustained or overruled. When the jury go back in there with their instructions, when they go into that room with their instructions, they're only going to have so much to work with. And if they don't have the key things that can, those one or two key items that can exonerate a defendant, they're going to lose that case 9 times out of 10, unless it's a situation where it's a good old boy situation, and they hung a black person or something like that, then they're going to try to look out for each other. That's right, I said it. They're going to try to look out for each other. Because when you look at all of these cases right now with these hangings and stuff that's going on, right now, hangings are going on. When you look at these cases, these authorities in all of these cities are quick to rule the case a suicide. They're quick to rule it suicide. It doesn't matter if the person has never been suicidal, didn't have mental issues, had no problems, had a baby on the way, just got married, won $1 million lottery, and they get hung, they're found hung. It doesn't matter. they automatically say suicide, case closed. It's like that's their default. I can't even remember the last time that somebody has been held liable for a person who was found hanging. Like, when's the last time that happened? I don't remember. I don't remember it ever happening. The closest thing that I remember is James Byrd being dragged by three white supremacists on the tail end of a truck. You know, that's the closest I can come to it. They don't hold them accountable. So, but back to this judge. This particular judge got a story to tell, and she got some explaining to do. Like, there is no way around that. ICE don't seem to have as much juice as they used to in the very beginning. They still got juice, don't get me wrong, because they still got these illegal immigrants on the run. Hell, they got legal immigrants on the run. Hell, they got Americans on the run, like born and raised Americans on the run. But they don't seem to be, you know, as aggressive as they were just a few months ago. I'm seeing people check those ICE agents now. I saw one black dude the other day. I don't know if they were trying to come into it. I think it was his place of business, and he was telling them, get the F. No, it was his house. It's like, get the F off my property. You know, he had a fence between them. He was like, get the F off my property. It's my property. No, you cannot. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here. Get the. Then I saw another video with an Arab dude who told him to get off his property. He had a store, a corner store. It's like, get off my property. Get off. This is my business. Get away from here. You're not welcome here. And they stood down. So it appears to be a slight shift in the respect that they have been getting as of late. But make no mistake, they still are extremely dangerous. I have yet to see any one of them be brought to justice for any crime against civilians. And I know when they first started hopping out of those cars, boy, they were doing people dirty. So y'all be careful out there, fam, because the uncivilized mutts are running amok. Fam, imagine you're doing some cooking. Let's say you're cooking for the holidays. Man, you cooking. Oh, man, got to go to the store and get some produce. So you really don't want to go to Walmart, but it's closest to the house. Maybe you can get in and out. Okay, so you go to Walmart. Go into the produce section. And as you reach to grab your celery, you see a rat. Just shoot by. Then then you see another one. You're like, oh, yeah, fair. That happened at Walmart. Check it out.
When you go grocery shopping, you expect fresh, not furry, but one video recorded inside this Walmart's produce aisle has shoppers doing double takes. We want to warn you, what you're about to see may be disturbing.
I had a cucumber last week.
Was it from Walmart?
Yeah.
From this Walmart?
Yes.
The video sent to KPRC2 News shows two rats scurrying across cucumbers and other vegetables in the fresh produce aisle at the Walmart on North Sam Houston Parkway East in Humble. In one video, the vermin are right under a sign that reads, Manager's Special. Brooklyn Bates, who lives in the area, says it's hard to believe.
I go shopping there.
As someone who helps run her mother's food truck, she says cleanliness is essential.
Being clean is the #1 priority.
Her mother, who did not want to go on camera, says this Walmart is the one their family uses, mostly because it's close to home.
We bought apples and other vegetables and fruit.
She says stores need to take responsibility and keep strong pest control measures in place.
You need better pest control because this shouldn't ever occur.
Video taken today shows some produce shelves cleared out, while others remained stocked. Walmart says potentially impacted products were removed and additional preventative measures were implemented with vendors.
These tests carry all kinds of disease. There's really nothing that you can really say, like, but wow, the health department needs to come out and close them down.
Harris County Public Health did inspect the store after it says it received that video and 4 complaints. We're told they found a dead rat on a glue pad behind a cooler, but by that time, all of the affected products had been removed and sanitized. We want to mention that this store did get an overall score of 96, but it also got a citation. We understand there is another inspection scheduled before Christmas. Reporting in Humble, Devin Clark, KPRC 2 News.
How? I want to know how. I want to know how in the hell did they get a 96 score out of 100? How? When they got rats. Not 1 rat, 2 rats. So you know there's a pattern there, right? How? Now, I had to bring y'all this story, fam. I hated to bring it to you specifically because this happened in the Houston area. Humble is a suburb of Houston, so it's right outside of Houston, and so the lines are like this, So it's like I didn't want to say anything about it because it's H-Town, so I like to try to highlight the positivity in H-Town. But man, I got to keep it. I got to call a striker striking the ball a ball, man. I got to keep it a buck with you. That Walmart needs to be shut down, just like they would shut down any other grocery store until they got their business straight, right? That's what they would do, wouldn't it? They wouldn't allow them to just still be open. But because they're Walmart, they get a pass. Not cool. Not cool at all. I used to be a big fan of Walmart because, well, number one, it was close to my house, and it was a place that I could go and get everything. Walmart is one of the few places you can go buy a lawnmower and a loaf of bread, at the same time. So I used to go, and then you could also cash checks and send money and all this, so I like the convenience of it. And I think for a while they had a good thing going, but somewhere down the line, they lost quality control. Once they started sacrificing quality control, it's been nothing but complaints since. And it's like they're not really doing anything to try to make it better. I think because quality control costs money and corporations are used to making more money every single month, they're looking at, okay, the cost of quality control versus revenue, annual revenue, quarterly revenue. If we spend too much time on this or that, it's going to be a problem. Now, here go the thing. As long as they're still making money, I don't think they'll do anything about quality control. As long as they're still making money. If it becomes a problem where people start there's a mass exodus, people start leaving Walmart in droves, then they'll do something about it. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the customers, it's about money. It's always about money. So Walmart got a lot of work to do. I don't shop I stopped shopping at Walmart maybe 15 years ago. I'll still run in there every now and then if I'm trying to get something and other places are closed or whatever. If I can't find something anywhere else, but I will never, ever buy produce from Walmart. Their produce is inferior. Their produce is inferior. Their meat, their vegetables are inferior. I would never buy from there, ever. If you want to get sick, take that chance. You want to take a chance getting sick, go to Walmart and keep on shopping over there, getting your produce from Walmart. if you go to Walmart, when I started noticing that the produce was inferior, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I noticed that it was consistently inferior. Didn't matter what store you went to. It was consistently inferior. There was consistently bananas or lettuce or, in fact, now that I think about it, somebody that I know just went to Walmart and bought a head of lettuce, and the lettuce had mold on it. Yeah. How in the hell does lettuce go so bad for so long that it collects mold? That's crazy. It had mold on it. So yeah, y'all be careful out there, fam. And here go the thing. It's not just Walmart. Some of these other stores that have a better reputation, they got bad produce also. Even Whole Foods. And you would think, damn, man, it can't get no better than Whole Foods. Yeah, it could but you're gonna have to have some space in your backyard or your front yard. You're gonna have to grow it yourself. If you're not slaughtering it yourself, if you're not growing it yourself, man, you're taking a chance, and that's the chance you take. That food at not just Walmart, HEB, I'm talking about the stores around here in Houston, HEB, Walmart, Whole Foods, Central, I think it's called Central Market. Yeah, it's a risk. Now, having said that, overall, Whole Foods is better, but you still can't trust them blindly because they still have uncivilized mutts that work in these places, and all of these places are not considered to be equal. Some of these places you go to, the difference is management. Some managers care more about their stores and their products than other managers. Some butchers care more about the meat that they serve, the meat that they cut up and give to customers than others do. There are some managers, if you go to certain stores, you deal with certain butchers, you can tell the ones who know and who care. They'd be like, this don't look too good. You know what? I'm gonna get something better than that. Don't worry about that. Hold on. Go in the back, grab something else, come back out in the front, like, here we go, man. They'll take that meat, put a little mark on it or something, and throw it in the trash. Yeah. That's where I want to get my meat from. I want to go to that dude right there. I know some of y'all saying, you don't need to be eating meat at all. I'm still eating meat, man. I'm still eating meat. Still working. I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. Still eating meat. Maybe one day. Maybe someday. But for right now, I'll just go to where there is a good butcher who takes pleasure in his job, who really cares about the people having a good experience when they buy from him or her. That's my advice, fam. Like, shop where people appear to actually care. When you go to Walmart, I remember also, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna move on. I remember that was a time if you went to Walmart to shop, you could find a helpful attendant on every aisle. Now, when you walk through these aisles and you looking for somebody to help you, it's like they be trying to dodge you and they see you. You can tell when somebody looking for help. You can tell when somebody looking around. They asses won't even say, can I help you? They won't even say it. They just gonna wait on you to say, hey, excuse me. And then sometimes they be acting like they're annoyed that you asking their asses for the direction to a particular item. Y'all got to work on that. All you stores out there, all of you retail people, y'all need to work on that. You know, y'all see somebody walk into the damn store and they going down the aisle and they ask the person, can you help? You ain't doing nothing else. Fam, you ever met a neo-Nazi Democrat? You probably have. You just didn't know it. You probably didn't know it because you thought that, well, only Republicans are neo-Nazis. Nah, fam. Malcolm X once said that the white liberal are the most dangerous because they smile in your face and they pretend to be your friend. Now, to my good white people out there, shoe fit wear. This is a shoe fit wear conversation, comment. This is shoe fit wear. If it don't apply, let it fly. But you know what I'm talking about because some of y'all got white liberals in your families that are stone cold racist. You know it. I know it. I know. See, I know. I've been around. I know. So anyway, fam, this guy swear to God that he's not a racist. He's running for Senate in Maine, and he was called out for his racist views or his racist antics. And he swears to God, I'm not a racist. Elect me. I'll be a good Democrat for you. Just get me in there and let me prove to you that I'm not a racist. Check it out.
In Maine, a high-stakes Senate race is heating up, causing drama for Democrats, now with an extra twist of Nazi symbolism.
My name is Graham Plattner, and I'm running for U.S. Senate in Maine.
Democratic candidate Graham Plattner running to unseat longtime Republican Senator Susan Collins, under fire for a controversial tattoo on his chest, a skull and crossbones symbol historically associated with the Nazis.
I am not a secret Nazi.
The oyster farmer and military vet saying he got the tattoo in 2007 in an interview on the left-leaning Pod Save America podcast this week, saying he was not aware of the symbol's history when he chose it on a night of drinking while serving in the U.S. Marines. In a statement, Plattner telling NBC News in part, "It was not until I started hearing from reporters and D.C. insiders that I realized this tattoo resembled a Nazi symbol. I absolutely would not have gone through life having this on my chest if I knew that." On Wednesday, Plattner posting a video on social media showing he got the tattoo covered up. Despite the backlash, some big-name Dems standing behind him.
Impressed that media is so concerned about the tattoo.
Senator Bernie Sanders defending his endorsement of Plattner and bristling when I asked him this.
Do you think it's necessary that he gets it removed or covered up?
Look, we are dealing with a collapsing healthcare system, and you were asking me about whether or not a guy should get a tattoo removed? Sorry.
Do you think that scandals are no longer the death sentence that they used to be in political campaigns?
They seem not to be. And that seems to be the biggest difference in this Trump era, with candidates refusing to bow out because they think that they can get beyond this scandal. And many times they're proven right and voters are willing to forgive them.
Well, well, well. So check this out, family. First and foremost, let me just talk about Bernie for a moment. I don't trust Bernie Sanders. I don't trust Bernie Sanders. And here's one of the biggest reasons why. Bernie Sanders is against reparations for Black people. Bernie Sanders is like, well, you know, how are we going to do it? How will we disperse to do it? It's better that we educate people and we help them get jobs and da-da-da. But when it came to Jewish people, he was for reparations. By the way, Sanders is a Jewish name, I do believe. But he was all for reparations for Jewish people, but he was totally against reparations for Black people. So it didn't make sense when Black people wanted it, but it made sense when Jewish people wanted it. He said that reparations only divides us. It's only going to divide us. Well, he wasn't concerned about reparations dividing us when they were stroking checks for the Jewish people. But now he's worried about reparations dividing us because it's for Black people's benefit. So Bernie Sanders is one of the biggest closet racists, in my opinion. He thinks he's going to be able to ride it all the way out that he marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. That don't mean nothing. There were also some racist police officers marching with Dr. Martin Luther King, although they had different intentions when they were marching. Bernie was one of those dudes like, yeah, you know, I'm with you and I'm with you and I'm sympathetic, but I'm with you, but I ain't with you all the way. He's one of those type to me. So while he got some good ideas and all this kind of stuff or whatever, but when somebody tells me that they're totally against reparations, I'm already against them already. I don't want to hear nothing they got to say. I don't want to hear nothing they got to say. Reparations now, reparations tomorrow, reparations forever. How you gonna give reparations to every damn body but Black people? Oh, everybody deserves reparations. Everybody understands the concept of reparations. But when they get to Black folks, they want to try to say, well, we don't know. Well, I'm not sure about that. You know what? Well, how is it? You know, well, I wasn't a slave. I mean, you were never a slave, and I never owned any slaves. And yeah, they got every excuse in the book. Yeah, well, I ain't never put nobody in an oven. They wasn't in any type of encampments. But somehow, some way, they figured out to cut that check to the Jewish community, to Jewish people. They stroked that check. But when it comes to Black people, it's, well, I ain't never owned a slave. Well, you never was a slave. Well, what they're all they're gonna do is take the money and blow it, and you know, doesn't matter if you give them $1 million, they're gonna be broke. Do you really think they care about us being broke overnight? They would like just to get rid of the conversation. They would love to give us $1 million a piece and watch us give it right back to them. If that was really the case, they would actually be advocating. If they really thought that that was the case, if they really thought all Black people were gonna really do that, they would all the way be for it because they would benefit from it. And they could finally get over the reparations argument, right? So we know that ain't the reason why they say what they say. They don't want to see Black people come up. They know, yeah, obviously, whether you Black or any other color, if somebody give you, if you ain't used to having money and somebody give you a boatload of money, you're probably gonna blow it. But there's going to be a number of Black people who are going to take that money and build generational wealth. And that is what they do not want to happen. They do not want to see that happen. That's why they're against it more than any reason. That's why. That's why the 40 acres and the mule was never given. That's why. Yeah. That's what they don't like about it. Now let's get into Buddy. Let's get into Graham Plattner. Graham think he's slick. How are you in the military? How are you in your 20s and you getting a tattoo with skull and bones and you don't know the history of it? Let me tell you something I know. Black people know the hate symbols that are against them, and so do white people. We know those symbols, and we don't know nothing else. We know symbols. And it is my opinion that he absolutely knew what that symbol meant. And he proudly displayed it because that's what he's really about. He probably put it on his chest instead of his arm, his forearm, because just in case he wanted to run for Senate one day. Just in case he wanted to do something that was civilized. You know, if he wanted to integrate with polite society, maybe just let me just put it over here. And then he covers it up. He really wants to run for, he really wants that Senate seat. And I wouldn't be surprised if people voted for him because, look, it is Maine. It's Maine. It's Maine. So I wouldn't be surprised if people really voted for him. The thing about these seats, whether it be in Congress or your local municipality, they wield the same amount of power and influence, and they pay the same salary. All of these seats, whether it's a Democrat sitting in it or a Republican, it wields the same amount of power, influence, and it pays the same amount of money. So when you see people joining the party, the Democrat or the Republican, a lot of times a person is running for a seat that they believe they can win. They're not running because they believe in the policies or they support the ideology. They're oftentimes running because they believe they can win. And that's why Graham is running. He believes he can win. And I actually believe he can win because there are a certain amount of people who are just like Graham who are self-entitled. And they don't really care if you're racist or not. As long as you can represent their ideas, they really don't care. That's how you get the uncivilized mud chick who raised over $100,000 when she, let me see, what was that? The uncivilized mutt, Karen, yeah. She raised over $100,000. She worked at Cinnabon. She raised over $100,000. She raised over $100,000 because there are uncivilized mutts like her who are sympathetic towards her or empathetic towards her, who donated because they see themselves in her. They saw her in them. And they need white folks who are racist to be cleared. They need to make sure that they're okay. They're going to be okay. Look, you're going to be all right. It's a lot of us. We got your back. We understand. Sometimes you just got to let that N-word fire off. You got to just get it out of you. You got to just let it go. So we understand. So take that. They're going to give you some money. They give her the money also because if they ever find themselves in that situation, they want people to donate to them. So they're teaching each other how to be on code. That's what that's about. They don't care whether she was wrong or right. They just care that she's white and she can continue white privilege. They got to maintain that by any means, and they don't care if it's right or wrong. That's why so many of them blindly support the police and they're cop apologists. As long as the police is killing other people, they're cool with the police. The moment a police officer kills a white person and there's any type of questions, they'll immediately start talking about how that person needs to be fired and how the police didn't give a person a chance and they should have brought in this and did that. They got all kinds of excuses. But let them kill a black person or even another person, a brown person. They'd be like, well, you should have complied. Well, he did comply. Well, it looked like he wasn't going to comply though. They got an excuse for everything. Boy, they got an excuse on deck. It's on default. I don't believe this dude. I don't believe him. I do not believe that he is not a racist. I believe he's a racist. I believe he knew exactly what he was doing. And I do believe that because of where he is, and he's a Democrat in Maine, he stands a good chance of still winning, because those Democrats in Maine, they ain't got no real moral compass. They don't have a real moral compass. You know, they'll vote for him just to protect his white privilege. That's how that goes. So I really don't think he has a lot to worry about, but he may run into some problems once he try to go to another level. So really, as Senate, if he can, maybe one day he might want to become, the leader of the party or whatever, and that ain't gonna happen, because that's gonna be a whole lot harder to get past. But then again, that could happen too, because look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump showed you all kinds of signs that he was a racist before he ever got got into office, his first term. His family had a sordid history of racial discrimination regarding the projects or the apartment complexes that they own. They were denying Black people the right to rent. So they had a record. He had a record that that was already out there that showed that he had the propensity to engage in racist behavior, and they voted for him anyway. So yeah, that don't mean a whole lot. Being a racist, and it's never really meant a whole lot. That's why we had slavery in the first place. A lot of your sitting members of Congress were slave owners. So it's never really been a deal breaker to be a racist in this country and win political office. So check this out, family. Check this out. We got a dude who got popped for shoplifting at Walmart. And he pulled out a gun. And he was ready to pop the police. Pull that thing out like, get out, everybody get out. Put a gun. No, he ain't do all that. But he pulled that thing out and he squeezed the trigger. He pulled it out, he squeezed the trigger, but it didn't pop off. Check him out.
I told her not to steal, bro.
You didn't too, so we'll do it on her. You watched you walk over and put an item in the bag off the shelf.
Doesn't need to use.
55.50.
Hey! No! Get back! No! Dang, stop!
Sorry, bro.
Need help!
Give us your hands, now!
Don't touch him.
Do not touch anything.
I'm on.
Come on, bro. Just clean.
Don't say that.
Just clean, bro.
I gotta watch that again, fam. I gotta see that again. Let's go.
I told her not to steal.
What I'm looking for is the reaction of the police officer and the other guy. The guy in the white shirt possibly saved the police officer's life and his own life. He kind of got caught off. He got caught off guard, and he lost a valuable second or so. But he finally caught his snap, and he went back in on Buddy. But I'm trying to see. But you see how lax they are. They allowed them. They brought them into that room and didn't pat him down, didn't search his belongings, if they had patted him down like they might do, say, a chocolate member of society, perhaps they would have saw the gun and they wouldn't have found themselves in that predicament. But check this out.
You didn't too, so hold it up on her. You watched you walk over and put an item in the bag off the shelf.
Doesn't need to use.
55.50.
Hey! Hey! No!
Oh.
Get back! No! Need help!
Give us your hands, now!
Don't touch him.
Do not touch anything.
I'm not.
Come from. Just clean.
Don't say that.
When white privilege goes wrong, you saw what happened. See, this is why a lot of white guys have opportunities to kill police officers and shoot police officers, because they don't approach them with the same energy and same bias as they might approach a black person, especially a black person who has given you no indication that they are a danger. They haven't done anything to show you that they are a danger or they've committed any kind of crime. But yet they come in really aggressive oftentimes. They're ready to kill something, and they oftentimes do kill something. Most of the time they kill, the person is unarmed. And most of the time they kill, they say, I thought he had a gun. I thought he was reaching for a gun. This is why white dudes get so many opportunities to pop the police. I've seen them walk up to the white dudes. They won't even have their hand on their gun. They won't pull the gun out or nothing. They just walk up there all friendly and shit. Hey, where you going? Oh, I'm going over down here the street to see Becky. Who's Becky? Oh, that's my old girlfriend. Well, who's this in the car? That's my wife. Well, did you know you had a busted tail light right there? Yeah, dudes just be reaching, everybody moving around, everybody just doing whatever they want to do. Okay, yeah, just hold up right a minute. I'll be right back. White dude get out the car. Pow, 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 pow. They very seldom have that same type of energy. They very seldom approach them with the same amount of caution that they approach black people, or the same amount of energy. They very seldom do that. And that's why the white dudes mostly have the drop on them, because they don't have the same energy when they're dealing with them. You know damn well ain't no way they would have had a black person sitting on that couch without searching them first. That would have been the first thing they would have done. Get in here, let me make sure everything good. Woo. They're not patting them down anything. They just letting them just chill. That don't happen if they're black. That do not happen if they're black. And I can tell you something else absolutely would not have happened. He pulls a gun out. He tries to shoot the police. You heard it click. So he squeezed the trigger. He tried to shoot the cop. He squeezed the trigger. The gun didn't go. I mean, he had an aim for his head, squeezed the trigger. The gun didn't go off. So his next move, the police already got his gun out. The police get him down and put his gun up. You know he would have executed a black person. You know he would have killed him. He would have killed him. It is that same white privilege that inspired thousands of people to storm the Capitol and go inside and pee inside the chambers and take a dump on the desk of officials, serving politicians. It's that same amount of white privilege. And white privilege is the biggest threat to American safety. That white entitlement is the biggest threat. That white entitlement comes from that white privilege. When you are privileged and that privilege is taken away from you, or you feel that it's taken away from you, or somehow it's eluding you, it's scary. It's scary. Wait a minute. You mean I'm going to have to compete on the same level as everybody else? Oh, I can't do it. I am not going to be able to do it. They're taking our country away. We want our country back, but we have all the advantages, and we don't have to compete. We don't have to be as good, and we can still make more money than them and live in big houses. I want to kill someone. I want to kill everybody. That's what a lot of that be about, fam. A lot of that be about these dudes who have just given up because they don't want to compete. They've given up because they just don't see white privilege working out for them. And it ain't happening fast enough for them. So even white privilege ain't enough for them. Even when they see it, they say, well, I'm still white and I know there's a double standard and all that work. But even white privilege ain't enough. I'm finna crash out. That's where that come from. That crashing out like that. These are guys, they're not hard, they're not tough guys. It doesn't take a lot to kill people. You know, it doesn't take a lot to squeeze the trigger, right? That if you look across this country, there's been millions and millions. Ain't nothing special about killing somebody. You know, and let me put it like this. Killing a person is special, but it doesn't make you special, right? There's millions and millions and millions of people who have killed people. So you ain't in a special category. You ain't nothing special. You're not special because you killed somebody, because you went and killed a bunch of black people in a church or a supermarket or wherever. You're not special because you went and shot up the school. People shoot up schools every day now. It's nothing special about you. And nobody's going to remember you like that. You're going to be remembered as a sucker, a loser, a quitter. See, because that's what it really boils down to, quitting. So many people throughout time has carried their cross all the way to the end, and they played the hand that they were dealt with. They had setbacks. They had failures. They bounced back. They figured out a way to continue on. They figured out a way to get to where they was trying to go to, baptism by fire. They did it. They figured it out. They just went. They kept on going. It's people right now. It's little kids right now who are in the 2nd and 3rd grade who are in very dire circumstances right now. They have very dire living conditions, and they're saying to themselves, "I'm going to make it out." And they're getting up every day. They're humping to go get it every day. They're getting up to go get it. And they're dealing with abuse along the way. But they're determined already at 8, 9 years old. I am going to get out of this situation. I'm going to make it. I'm going to be somebody. There are people who are 80 years old who have went back to work. It wasn't what they thought it was going to be. Retirement wasn't what they thought it was going to be. Maybe they came up short and just didn't have enough money to cover their expenses all the way. So they said, you know what, I need to go back to work. And they went back to work and they get up every day and they go make it pop. They go make it happen. But you couldn't do that because you didn't have the strength. You don't have the fortitude. So you quit. You gave up. You decided, you know what? I'm just going to crash out because I'm not built for this. I'm not built for perseverance. I'm not resilient like that. That's the truth. So this is why nobody honors you. This is why you're going to be remembered as a weak person. You're going to be remembered as a loser. These guys who take guns and go out and just randomly shoot people, arbitrarily kill people, they gave up. They couldn't hack it. They couldn't do this thing called life that hundreds of millions of people do, billions of people do every single day. They couldn't do it. Billions of people do, of all ages. And you would think out of anybody that white guys be the last ones to just say, I'm gonna crash out and lose everything. I'm going to prison. I don't care about living. The whole country was designed for white dudes to make it, even over white women. The whole country was designed for white dudes to make it. You would think that a white dude would be the last person to crash out and just give his life away and go to jail, sit up in jail for the rest of his life, or kill himself or commit suicide by cop. You would think. I know if I had it like y'all, I'd be dancing in the streets. You ain't worried about nothing. What that song? You ain't worried about nothing. You ain't worried about nothing. I ain't worried about nothing. I'm white. I'm a white man in America. The game is stacked. The deck is stacked in my favor. If I go into courtrooms, the deck it's stacked for me to win. Even if I lose, it's stacked for me to bounce back and contribute, come back into society. The only time America discards a white dude is that white dude becomes a physical danger to white folks. And they go, you know what? We ain't gonna be able to do this. But as long as he's a physical danger to other folks, he can be dangerous to other people. He can be horrible to other people. He can be a thief. He can be a rapist. He can be all of that stuff. They'll figure it out. They'll figure out a way to savage him. Yeah, they'll figure it out. These dudes are dudes who gave up. They couldn't get up and go to work no more. They was tired of going to work. They tired of studying. They're tired of playing by the rules and having to follow authority. They're tired of that. They couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it. So they said to themselves, I'm a loser and I can't get nothing right. Women don't like me. I can't keep a girlfriend. I just can't do nothing right. I can't please my parents. I just can't do anything right. I'm just going to end it all. But I'm going to go kill some people. I'm going to kill some people. And I'm going to blame it on them. I'm going to blame it on them. I'm going to say they're the reason why I did what I did. Like they try to make it seem like they're standing on some type of moral code. Like they try to make it seem like they're doing something for the greater of humanity or white nation. they try to make it seem like it's one of those type of situations, but it's really not that. They really don't care about white society like that. But they know that that's one society, that racist element of that white society is one group that will always support them because they love racism more than they love oxygen. That's my time, fam. A few more shout outs before I go. What's up, China Carter? What it do? China Carter. Amazing love. What's up, Vicky Slaughter? Seventh level. Samuel Washington. We got Deckman. Bug Horse, what's up? What's up? Desmond Augustine. There it is. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining live. Till next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And here's an update, fam. I may switch formats again on this channel starting maybe Monday. I may switch formats because I'm trying out these different formats to get my channel regulated, because right now, as you can tell, the algorithm is way off. My numbers are way off. I'm only on my live. My lives are only getting like 5,000 views, 10,000 views when they used to get, 50, 60, sometimes 100,000 views. So my numbers are way off. And even then, my numbers should have been better than that. So, but now it's really bad. So I'm doing some testing and stuff and working out some different things. So I may change the format back to where I had it with a few what do you call it? What do you call it when you tweaks? There you go. With a few tweaks, I may change it back to the original format. So stay tuned. But until then, same bad time, same bad channel, 2 p.m. tomorrow Central, 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon on the West Coast. No more talk.